Hey, I'm just Roscoe and we're back in The Sims. Now I'm really excited. I've just got the Eco-Lifestyle? Whatever it's called, the Eco-Lifestyle DLC. And there is some really nice items in it, especially the furniture. I think they've done really well on the furniture. Not being funny, that with any game there's a lot you can rip apart, and their furniture, my biggest issue with the furniture is that the sofas don't feel plump enough. I want a nice plump sofa that you can sort of go as you sink down into it. The sofas look quite hard and uncomfortable. The house we're building today is my first ever eco-style house. I've never done an eco-style house, and I have to admit I've really enjoyed doing it. Like, it makes you think out of the box. You try and get a lot more outside living space, more planting. I wanted it to look a bit unusual. I didn't want it to look like your bog standard house, so we've very much gone for 3 boxes and connected them through different ways. We've got a roof garden which connects the upstairs, and then we've got some doors, loads of natural light coming in, so I'm just working to sort the roofs out here and put some skylights in, which I love. I love the skylights. They add so much natural light into it. Plants galore in this build. I've got plants everywhere. I've also included the new planting wall, which I really like. I like everything. I want more. I want more wall garden items. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to do more wall garden items? We've got that little thing with the grass in it and the planting wall, and then there's another wall that's already planted and looks pretty, but I want more. I am avoiding getting custom content, as I said in a previous video. Don't get me wrong, I would love custard content, I was going to say then, custom content, especially for clutter. I'm very much one for clutter. I feel clutter makes a build feel lived in rather than a show home, and I'm not really a show home sort of guy. Even if I build a modern build, I still like to clutter it up a bit and make it feel like there's actually a sim living there. But I also want you to be able to do what I'm doing in my videos if you haven't got custom content or you don't want custom content. So I'm sticking with the main game and the DLCs and things like that. All my buildings, by the way, are on the Sims shop thing. Just type in the hashtag #JustRoscoe, and all my buildings will come up. Some of the they don't look very good in the thumbnails, and that is because I don't have the option to choose the photo. As you probably know if you play The Sims, it chooses it for you. For example, this lot, where I was thinking, oh, it'd be lovely from the front, it's going to look really nice. Yeah, the photo doesn't come from the front, it comes from the side, so you end up with like quite a plain, boring wall, and you don't see the rest of the house. I don't understand the logic behind that, why we weren't allowed to choose our own photos, but there's a lot of logic in The Sims I don't understand. I'm just trying to build a canopy area here. Now I was going to use that canopy piece, which is a rug. I thought, oh, that'll look nice, it'll look like they've just thrown a canopy over to make it work. But the rugs go see-through for some reason. Here, if anyone can tell me what the panel is, the rug is called, it makes it a glass panel so you can see through. I would love to know, because I have searched and searched and searched, and I've used it. I have seen it, but do you think I could find it whilst doing this build? Because the idea was, I was going to have, where I just put those grids in, I was going to put glass along there, so it felt like that building was connected to the rest of it just with, they just put some glass in there. It was almost like 2 buildings, and they've joined them together with a strip of glass. But sadly I didn't get that done because I have no idea where that rug is. Please, someone put in the comments below what it's called so I can search for it. I've seen it, I know it exists. Again, massive open doors. I think I do change those doors later on, because I feel like this is going to be a bedroom and you want a bit of privacy in your bedroom, and they've got that massive skylight. The majority of the roof is window, so they probably don't need that big open window so everyone can see in when they're having fun times. So we do change that. I did try and go for windows either side of the door, but as always, they have given us this new ability to move the windows around, so it doesn't have to stay in a particular wall. It can go between walls, which is lovely, but they still haven't given us the ability to put more than one window on a wall piece. So I use one of the new eco doors, and I try and put windows either side, but because the windows are technically clipping into that wall piece, it then makes wall appear in the door. Again, I don't get the logic behind it, but I'd imagine it's something they can't change at this point in the game. It's probably something they needed doing at the very beginning, and because they never planned for you to be able to put more than one window on because everyone says about it, everyone wants more than one window on a wall panel. But I'm guessing they can't change it at this point without really putting some effort in. Here I'm just going to go... The planting around the house is very much wild and grassy and lots of wildflowers, and I don't want it to feel manicured at all. I want it to feel like it's just growing as it does, and that's it. They're quite happy with that. Another thing I'd really like, if you see the stairs, you can see through the stairs. I'd love to be able to put floor under there. I still haven't figured out how to do that. There is probably a way, but I haven't figured it out yet. Now, windows, it took me a while to decide what we were going to use and things like that. I really wish I could put, I'm trying taller windows here, but it just didn't work. So I don't really like the taller walls. I think the shorter walls are nicer. It makes it feel more cozy. If I was doing like the mansion build I did, for example, I would definitely use tall walls for that, just so it feels big and grand. But on here, no. Now this window I'm using here, this circle window, I love it. I think it's beautiful. But it is missing a swatch colour. There's wood colour for each design until you get to the plain one. And there's one of the wood colours that isn't actually available in the plain one. And typical, it was the wood colour I wanted. But it's fine, we got round it, it looks lovely. I've put... On the main living building here, just above the pond that I'm working on, you've got that circle window, and you've got one on the front of the house on the opposite side, and they're perfectly in line, and you can just see straight through the house. It's just beautiful. It works so well. This is my first ever attempt at a little pondy, lakey thing, so using the rocks and lots of plants to make it feel overgrown and try and dissolve that very straight line on it. I love the fact we can choose the watercolours. I think that really makes it feel more like a pond. If it was crystal clear like a swimming pool, it wouldn't feel quite the same. And I really like that really green, quite murky sort of watercolour. That works so well. So at this point I decide I like the grey rocks better, and then I end up doing a mixture of the two colours. And I think that's nicer, because they wouldn't all be the same. They would be a mixture of rocks. There's my... that hosta plant I've just put in. Love it. I wouldn't use loads of them, but the odd one like I put there, I think I'm probably going to use that in most of my builds. That might be my little signature. Little hosta plant in there somewhere. Again, very wild and naturally grown, not manicured pond at all. Very much wood effect is what I'm going for in this build. So I love this little lean-to here with the wood frame around it inside. It just gives that nice little detail. And in the end, I think we put a sofa in there and loads of different plants and that, so it feels like a nice little nook to sort of curl up and read, or just enjoy the sunshine and things like that. Although if it's sunshine, you'd probably go outside. We do actually get 3 double bedrooms into this building. It doesn't look big enough for 3 double bedrooms, but we've got the 2 bedrooms on the far end in the lighter colour building, and then I put an outside bedroom in later on, which I wasn't sure about, but I really like it. I think, if you're an eco sim, you're going to love the outdoors, and if you've got a sim with the trait to love outdoors, they're going to love that bedroom so much. I do get to the end of the build, and you may realise I haven't put a certain thing in. I've tacked it on the end. You will see it being built. I've tacked it right on the end. But I decorate and finish the house lovely, and then I go, oh, wait a minute, I haven't put a bathroom in. I didn't put a bathroom in the entire house. So we end up with a little outhouse and sort of an outside shower thing. And it's really nice. It actually feels like eco living, showering outside and things like that. Here I'm just going to put some greenery on the wall. I do a little bit for you to see what I'm doing, and then I do it off screen because it's going to take me ages because I do the entire wall, and I don't like that plant at its natural size. The leaves seems too big, so I decided to use a mixture of 3 sizes. So the main size which it comes in, just a few of those, and then a couple, then I'd go down a size and then down a size more. So it took a while, so I showed you a little bit and then did the rest off camera. Here I'm just messing around with the doors, and as you can see, the windows keep forcing that wall into the doorway, so we sort of avoid the windows. Trying to choose a window for the side here, because it's the front of the house, I didn't want it to feel too open. So I decide on these windows, and these are lovely. They've got a windowsill in, so you can actually put stuff on the windowsill, which I do. I'm not sure I do it in the upstairs, actually. I definitely put things in on the windowsill downstairs, but I think I may have missed the upstairs. I was going to put a pillar on the corner there, but the pillar only goes up to the top of the... You can make pillars taller and shorter, which is lovely. But if you've got like the roof piece with the side roof on it there, the pillar won't go up to the top of the roof. It'll stop at the top of the wall. So you end up with that triangle piece with no pillar on. Again, unusual build design, but I'm getting used to it in The Sims. I decide at this point I've actually bought... I started the build before I bought the... Yeah, I got the DLC. And at this point I've got it. So now I'm going around going, oh, what can we put in? So we put those windows in. We also put some... I think I put a bit of wood effect here, which I think looks really nice. It just... That wood's just sort of raised on a couple of metal bars, and it just gives a bit of depth to the building. Love that piece I've just put in there with the wall garden cacti thing. I do put some... Yeah, those wooden slats go through it, but I still think it looks rather nice. We do put a fireplace the other side, the new fireplace, but we do move that eventually, because my biggest issue with this build was trying to fit a kitchen in. Because obviously with those round windows and the bigger windows, you don't want to put the kitchen across in front of it. So trying to find a space to get a decent sized kitchen in, it actually turns out to be a really nice sized kitchen. And if you think about it, you've got three double beds, so you could actually have 6 Sims living here. So a good sized kitchen is probably something we need. Now I'm going to do a little roof garden here. I love those ones that I've just put in over the back there with the vegetables in. I think they're really nice. It is a shame that the ones you can actually plant in yourself don't look as... like, you don't have a very vast selection of styles. They are just little round things or some square wooden ones. It would be nice to have something like that. They've sort of given it us as a decorative piece, but imagine that you could actually plant in it. That would be really cool. Here we're just looking at... This is the ready... Oh, no, I missed that bit. We're going to turn this into a rooftop garden. I felt like there needed to be a barrier along the front, just to make it a bit more private from the outside, but I didn't want a solid barrier, and these pieces have came in the new DLC and they're really nice. They add a bit more greenery to it, but they're not solid. They feel like a divide but not a divide. As you can see, I've used them around the back here as well. We're going to put some bees in here because you can now get honey. I'm sure they produce honey. I'd imagine they produce honey. I haven't actually played as a sim yet. I've just used it for building, so I'm guessing they produce honey. And round here is also where we put the outhouse after I've decided, oh no, I've got nowhere to put it. And I didn't really want to lose a bedroom, because that would have just left you 1 bedroom inside, 1 bedroom outside, and it just felt like that was the bedrooms are too big for a bathroom. So I'd have lost a bedroom but gained a massive bathroom, and it just didn't feel right when you only had, technically inside, 1 bedroom. So we actually go for the outhouse, and it works really nicely. Now we're moving on to the interior. I wanted the interior to feel like they collected this furniture, and it doesn't quite all go together. Like they've gone to a furniture recycling centre or something like that, or they're just using make do. They're recycling things, and I think that's why I didn't put anything on the windowsill there, because I've actually put curtains in this room, which I didn't do downstairs in the bottom bedroom, if I remember correctly. I go for quite an unusual decorating style in here. We've got that nice tree effect on the main wall, and then a green colour to echo the colour of the bed. Again, lots more plants. We get random pictures. Again, I wanted them to feel like I wanted the furniture to go together, but still feel like it didn't come together. They didn't buy a set of it. They picked it up at different times, and that's what I wanted it to feel like, and I hope it does feel like that. Like that little crate that I've got that plant on, it just feels like they're make do with just to save the environment. Rather than buy another unit, a brand new unit, they found that crate and went, do you know what? We could reuse this rather than it going to waste. Again, lots of plants. That rug I use, it's a bit wishy-washy, but it's nice. It gives a nice sort of soft effect to the room. Some of the rugs look really soft and plush, and others don't. And I lean more towards the plush ones. You want something soft on your feet. Although I do like the wickery. Is it wicker? It's like a. We'll get to that, whatever rug that is, in a minute, because I do put it in the study area. This bedroom, we're going for an orange and green sort of theme. It's quite in your face and bright, but it feels nice and warm. So on the walls we just do a darker orange on the one wall, and then we do a lighter orange, which we've already done. It doesn't look orange actually, but it did look orange on the swab. Here I'm just deciding what door to use, and obviously I have to use the doors that come in the DLC. And this lovely little double pot with some herbs or whatever came in the DLC, so that's going in the loads of, I'm trying to use as much of the eco living stuff as possible. This is one of the rugs that looks like it would feel really soft. It looks quite like it's got a nice deep pile, so we've used that. I couldn't quite get the colour I wanted. It's a bit washed out, but maybe it's old. Maybe they fact like someone didn't want it and were throwing it away, and they've gone, do you know what? We could use this. This bedroom, very much more than the other one, feels like they've sort of collected furniture from here and there. The furniture definitely doesn't go. I like the poster I used was from a film. I'm guessing a film poster. So they would have found that maybe in the trash of the cinema or something like that. Again, loads of plants. I do put a standing mirror in here, which again doesn't go with the furniture, but it just all fits together really nicely. I think that's one of the challenges with trying to make it eco-friendly. You want it to feel like they've acquired the furniture and reused the furniture, but it still needs to all work together. And for my first eco build, I think I've done a good job of getting that brief. Maybe. I hope you think so as well. If you do, please hit that like button. That would be lovely. Now we're going to get some shelving in. This shelving that came in the eco pack is beautiful. I love it. I'm going to use it so much. Especially, imagine it in a modern build. It doesn't even have to be in an eco house. It is just a nice modern looking shelf and not too big. Some of the shelves, especially the wall shelves, seem massive in the game. And I do like the fact you can shrink things down. I'm really getting used to enlarging and shrinking things. It's a bit random with the shadowing on some items. Like the shadow tends to stay the same size as what it was originally. So you end up with this tiny... You'll see in the kitchen in a bit, actually. I tried to do something on the worktop. And I make it so small, but the shadow is massive and makes the corner really dark. It's a bit weird that they've given us the ability to shrink and enlarge things, but not considered the shadow. We go for a green looking kitchen. I think we do change the colour of the bottom units. Once I get the top ones in, I go, I don't quite like it, so we play around with it. We've got everything in here that we need, really. We've got the fridge, the cooker, a few units. On the wall opposite, we put in another set of units where we put a sink and some more greenery. The table and chairs is small. We've got one table, 4 chairs, and obviously if you had 6 Sims living here, it's not ideal. But we're just going by the thought that they don't all eat together at the same time. I really tried to get this wall unit in there. It would have worked so well. but the bottom shelf was actually showing through the sink, and if it wasn't, it would have looked really nice. Like it was like a metal frame built over that area just to put some shelves in. Again, you can see me trying to get as much green on the wall as possible, but a lot of it's really big. And then the really small stuff just seems to have grass in it, like this, or it looks like it belongs outside, where those work inside quite nicely. So again, I think it's at this point you're going to see me shrink some, yes, this little tiled plant, I shrink it right down small, but look at the size of the shadow, it makes it really dark in this corner. I tried to compensate it with lighting, but I didn't seem to make a difference either, so we get rid of it in the end. A box of tissues on the corner there, gotta have a box of tissues in every house. And that lovely little draining board plate thing, which sort of makes it feel more like a sink. Here I was just going to try and get a bit of those wooden divide walls up. But I wanted it coming off the wall and dividing the living area from that doorway. But if you get too close to the wall, it just automatically snaps to the wall. It's a little annoying, I'm not going to lie, but I did try my best and it wouldn't work, so we got rid of that idea. In the kitchen, I've gone for quite a bizarre choice of rug, because as I've said in previous videos, I'm not a fan of a rug under a dining table. People drop food, crumbs get on the floor. Do you really want a rug under that, collecting all the dirt and grime from people sat around eating? So I've gone for a tarp, I think that's what you say. A tarp style rug, so it'll be easy to sweep off and clean. It breaks the floor up a bit, but it's still easy maintenance. That's my excuse anyway. I know a lot of people do put rugs under dining tables. It's just not something I'm a fan of. Here we're going to make a little snook area. This is going to be like the living room. Again, a rug that feels like it didn't... Well, all the furniture in this area feels like it didn't come together. I love the sofa that's been made out of pallets. I think that's a great idea. Along here I put that living wall that you can plant into. I've crammed them together so they feel like one unit. I'm not actually sure if that's going to work yet. I do have to test it. Because if you put them down so they snap, it does leave a gap between them, and that's not what I want. I want them to feel like one wall piece, not 3 different units. We put a little picture of some random police officers up in the corner, because why not? And now we're going to put a lot of random crap on top of the fridge, because I do like random crap on top of the fridge. Most people have something stood on top of their fridge if it's available. You do, most people do, so it just, again, it makes it feel more homely. Here, again, a bit more random crap. I really wanted that plant in there in a specific way, so I mess around a little bit here. Because obviously it snaps to the units if you leave the units there. So remove the units, move it into place, put the units back, perfect. This is beautiful, this hanging down plant. But it was a bit long for in here, it's sort of stuck through the ceiling. And because of the length of it, it does go the entire length of the wall. You don't have the ability to move it down, which is a shame. A smaller I could have made it smaller. Would that have worked? Oh, I don't know. It's too late now. We're moving on to this little area, which I wasn't sure how to deal with this area, because you've got 3 massive doorways on 3 of the walls, and then a massive window on the other wall. So most of the wall space is taken up. And trying to get out of the habit. In the UK, we do have the habit of plastering our furniture around the walls, so the middle of the floor is empty. I think it's because we have smaller houses, so we don't have the space to put a sofa in the middle of the floor, as it were, because you wouldn't really have room to get around it. So we very much plaster around the walls. And I still have that mentality because I've been brought up with it. So when it comes to a room with no real wall area, it makes me go, ooh, what do I do with the furniture? But it turned out quite nicely. It's a nice little reading area. We put a few more seats in there in a bit. I'm just doing this little lean-to here, which is lovely. I don't even know if they can get in here, but I hope they can, because you've got that little sofa, lots of plants, that wicker rug thing I was on about, which I love. I used 2 of them. I think I used the round one in the main study area as well. they just feel old. Like people had them years ago, and clearly these people have got them from the rubbish and recycled them, and it just fits the whole style of the building. So we're coming up to the end of the main build now, and then I discover that I've completely overlooked. I do it so many times. I did it in the barn conversion. I build it and I go, oh, it looks lovely, and then I go, oh, what about a bathroom? I have no idea why I don't consider a bathroom, but I just don't. And then I get to the point where it's all full up and I don't want to lose anything. Like this build, I didn't want to lose a room. But we do end up getting it in, and I think it fits very nicely with the eco lifestyle. At this point, I'm putting chairs around a ridiculously small table, not realising that's not a proper table. There we go. I realised it's not a proper table, and we changed the colour and set it up properly. Again, very much mix and match furniture. Maybe they found it down the tip or in a dumpster, because we've got dumpster diving now, which you can get some really good stuff out of apparently. I get a water catcher so we can collect our own water, and we've got a recycler which does move because that's where the toilets go in. Again, these living walls, I move them together so they feel like one unit. I don't know if they're usable. I will check that out. I'm hoping they are, because it makes sense for them to be one unit. And this is where the third bedroom's going to go. And it works so nicely. It just feels like, imagine like you're an outdoor person, you love being outdoors. This would be really nice, and you feel all the draft coming through and the lovely smells of the plants and the nature. But I didn't want it to feel too open, so we do build some curtains along the front, especially the front of the house. So when you're in bed, you can close those. I did try and put a sort of curtain style thing along the back here. But that didn't really work. Like that curtain I'm using there is almost the perfect size, but it's not. So we do leave that open in the end, so the neighbours would be able to see us sleeping, I suppose. I'm sure there is a way around it, but it didn't bother me that much. It just felt quite natural and worked. So I just moved on. We do a bit of more of that wild sort of planting, bit overgrown, but not overgrown, not cared for. It's not manicured. It's what it is. That's how they grow. That's what they've got. Obviously can't do the fencing right to the edge of the boundaries, so we've put those plants in to make it feel like it goes that far, but doesn't actually. Now we're going to put a bit of mud in, just so it feels like people have walked up and down there a lot to get water. It's sort of set in, it's been used, and we're sort of at the end of the build now. We're going to put the toilet in, which is a nice quick thing. If you've enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, and if you haven't done already, please subscribe. It really does help the channel. I'm going to leave you with some screenshots, and I'll see you next time.